Hi, guys. Come on in, sit down. Let's take a breather. So, this is a special reading today, and I'm excited to really be called to do this kind of reading because tapping into your higher self is one of the best ways to really connect with yourself and really put you on the right path. Your higher self has already done it, and your higher self is really kind of like turning back and trying to help you get to that point a lot faster, a lot quicker. And Spirit has been slowly pulling me towards this kind of reading, and I've been wanting to do it for a while now. And I just, every time I tap into my higher self, I'm tapping into my intuition, I'm tapping into my soul guidance. And that's one of the best tools you can really have in your pocket right now with all the chaos and all the the pushes and the pulls and the to-do lists and those mountains that we have to climb each and every day. And especially when you're a mom or you've got a lot of priorities that are ahead of you, this is just one way for you to kind of sit down and really see what it is that you may be missing. What are some insights that could be brought to your attention, especially when you're at a crossroad in your life and you just feel like I'm just beating my head against a wall, or every time I try to do something good for myself, it's like an obstacle comes up, or it's like everybody decides that that's the best time to pull away from my own me time. So if this kind of like resonates with you, then this reading is especially for you, because if your compass has felt like it's just been spinning and spinning and spinning and you haven't been really been able to find a direction, this is going to create that compass with your soul at the center. So this is asking your higher self to show you what you need for your highest good. And yes, it's hard. It's hard to cut out the bad habits. It's hard to completely rechange the way you think about things or how you go about things. And at the end of the day, your higher self is really just telling you, you can do it. I've already done it. I just needed a little bit more strength, more courage, more compassion for myself as I was growing. So in this reading, just remember, just trust. Trust what comes through. Your higher self already knows that way. I'm telling you. And, if there's any messages that are revealed today that don't resonate, don't worry. Don't fret. Just release what isn't yours for another person. There's so many people on this planet, and it can be so hard to try and find, where's my message? Where is my thing that is meant for me? So, take these messages, take what is revealed today and, write it down. Maybe it doesn't make sense in the moment, but later on it will. Or, ask yourself if this message might be for somebody else, maybe a family member, a friend, maybe a coworker, and, your spirit guides are using you as that radio signal. And I like to use it as a reference in my readings. Like, you are just as much a channel as, for all these other people in the world. And you have the ability to be a light worker, an earth worker, or an earth angel, if you will. But this reading, it's really meant for you, if I can speak. But I'm going to go ahead and reveal the piles so that way y'all can get a close-up on them and really take this time to sit with yourself. Write down what you want to write down. Write down any inspirations. Maybe there's something that was said and it just kept repeating in your head. But use this time to do something good for you. That's what really matters. You deserve this. You have a right to honor your needs. You have a right to feel what you feel. You have a right to exist. And your higher self is here to kind of like say yes to all those things. But without further ado, let me go ahead and put you on over to the other side. All right, guys, so here are the 5 piles. Now, this reading is going to be a little bit different than what I normally would do in this reading. So, as always, this last pile down here will be for my Patreon, and it's just one way to help support my channel and purchase more cards, do more guidance work. That way, whenever I'm learning something, I'm able to pass along those messages along to you. But this reading is going to be essentially, there's a little bit of something for everyone, because this is the higher counsel that is coming through. This is all of these piles, the higher selves of each one, that are basically going to sit down at a table and, have a conversation with one another on how they are working together to assist you. And if you feel like you have been called to more piles, or if maybe there's a higher self that is connected to one of these other piles, you may not know it yet, but it's like friends working together. It's like a sisterhood, if you will, or a brotherhood, if you will, whatever, resonates. But this is your higher selves coming together at the table to really speak as a collective one being, and, bring a message to tailor in and add into the rest of these piles. So consider it an extension. Now, before you do select a pile, please truly connect and speak out loud to your higher self. We need to do those breath works, those benevolent intentions before we start. So if you need a close-up, I'm going to go ahead and give y'all a close-up of each pile. Pile 1. Pile 2. Pile 3. Pile 4. Pile 5, higher counsel. All right, so let's go ahead and start doing our breath work. So this can give you a little bit more time to choose if you weren't certain about the close-ups. Now, you can hold your hand over each of these piles and see if there is an intuitive pull that is kind of like pulling you in. And you can even say, maybe I need to do, one week, because you feel called to another pile. So you want to be able to take in those messages and really put them to use and to the test, and then really see if it's aligning with you. And if it doesn't, you can check in with another pile. But let's go ahead and do 3 deep breaths. Let's go ahead and breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now our benevolent intentions. Benevolent higher self of the listener today, help reveal the wisdom and gifts they have and need to hear. Help them deepen their connection with you and take the steps that lead towards a closer reunion with you. Thank you for your endless positive compassion, support, and love. We are excited to hear from you today. With much love and appreciation from your students and teachers, we shall see you on the other side. All right, guys, I'll see y'all on the other side, no matter which pile you choose. Hello, pile 1, and welcome. Now, there is something I did forget to mention in the intro, and that's how the reading is going to break down. So I'm going to be able to, hopefully I'll be able to remember to do this for each and every pile. But so the way this reading is going to break down is we're going to look at the voice of your higher self, the message that they have for you right now. So this is going to be the core message you need to hear today. We're going to look at what is blocking the connection, whether it be an ego pattern, a fear, or distraction that's muffling your inner wisdom, and just hopefully bring awareness to what is getting in the way. And then we're going to look at how to strengthen the connection, what practice or mindset that will help you hear your higher self more clearly, or the actionable guidance, whether it be meditation, journaling, nature, you name it, etc. You fill in the blanks. And then lastly, we are going to look at the gift that your higher self is giving you. So this can be a strength, an insight, or support that your higher self is offering you, or a reminder of the resources you already have within. And then we're going to lead that into what your next step is for your soul. So what aligned action can you take that honors your highest path? And, maybe there's something that we can ground the spiritual into the practical. And then the last card that we're going to use is the energy that you will be embodying. What aspect of your higher self are you being called to embody now? And take this as your anchor, the archetype, or the energy to carry with you as you are essentially becoming the best version of yourself. Now, as I was doing your reading, I heard this song from Anastasia. I don't know if you've ever watched that movie. It was one of my all-time favorites growing up. But the song Journey to the Past was hitting hard before I even started your reading. So I encourage y'all, if you have the time after this reading, listen to that song, listen to the lyrics that are in there, and see if there's like a message there that your spiritual team is trying to give you, your higher self is trying to give you, if you will, because that song is about finding home, finding your true family, finding your true friends in the present moment, and just reconnecting and finding the steps. When I pulled this card, I felt this intuitive pull. I don't know if you will be able to see it, so I'm going to try to get the camera to show it. But I instantly seen this headdress that a shaman would wear with the feathers, the ones that everyone goes to for counsel. So your higher self is someone that has this wisdom that people tend to return to when they have lost, their way, or they've lost their path. And you may even feel that yourself. It's just you have been helping all these other individuals in your life find their way. But when it comes to you trying to find your path, it's trying to find, who is my shaman, who is my wise counsel. And this is your higher self saying that especially when it is tough, you still have a lot of wisdom within you that you can give to yourself, a lot of medicine, if you will. And so I seen that shaman headdress, and they had a shaker, and it reminds me of that scene of Pocahontas, where the medicine worker was trying to heal this person's body, and trying to figure out where the cause of pain was coming from, where the cause of the issues were lying. And that could be something that would benefit you greatly, is lying down and doing a head to toe check, like checking in with your body, checking in with your emotions, checking in with your mind, and giving yourself the breath that you need in this moment to breathe and sit with what rises up. So I had that image coming in. And the other thing I want to say about this card is, because it is a cube and you have all the intuition within your box, it's something you have been packing away, and you've probably had lots of synchronicities in your life. You've had a lot of footprints, a lot of question marks that have been, become exclamation points, if you will, because I see this exclamation point, but it also looks like a footstep. Like, your intuition is your key to, the success that you have right now. And there are parts of this box that look a lot darker, and maybe it's parts of your life where you have really neglected trusting your intuition, and you feel really bad about not trusting it. So this could be feeling guilt. It's like, why didn't I speak up? I knew something was wrong. Why didn't I address it as soon as I could feel it? That inner wise shaman within you knew. And I don't know why this is coming through, but this is don't feel bad for your intuition. And when you try to tell people like your friends and your close loved ones, it's like, hey, something about that person doesn't seem right, or you just tried to tell them but you didn't have any proof, and it's like you got shade, they, how do I say this, you got put on the back burner, and they basically called you crazy, and that you were probably telling these individuals that you didn't, it's like to them it's like, you just don't want me to be happy. Everybody that I happen to meet, you just have something about them that you don't like. And in reality, you should not feel bad when people, make you feel discouraged or shut you down for some of the gifts that you have, because you are very intuitive. This color purple that's coming through, it makes me think of, your third eye, that chakra, and you need to trust it. You need to trust that you have this ability to see before things are here. You have the ability to know before things are physical, and your guide is saying, don't box your intuition away. Wear it proudly. And the people that come into your life that you feel that strong pull towards, like you're attracted to them, there's a reason for that. Or if you feel like, I need to, something about this person does not sit right, like I can feel their energy, and it makes me want to go wash my skin, or you were becoming that beacon to try to steer people from their ships crashing into cliffs, while you are the lighthouse. And my dear, it's like that can be so exhausting to do. That's not fair to you. That's not fair to your higher self. And you can show people by example how to let your intuition guide you. And through, by watching you, then you can, see that if they really want to pick up a lantern, if they really want to start finding those steps that are there for them, that lead them to their highest good potential, they would do it themselves. And this is something I have struggled with in my entire life, is I have tried and tried and tried to show my family and my friends, like whenever I talk about my spirituality, or if I'm talking about, like, they ask, well, what did you do? Like, you've went through this, major change in your life, or when you are on a good path, it's like they're like, how did you do it? But then when you tell them how you do it, it's like, oh, that's not for me. And it can be discouraging, because like you have the proof in front of you, but you can't feed them when they're not hungry. You have to wait till they actually want a piece of that pie too, if you will. But without further ado, but don't tiptoe around your shadows. Your intuition is something to embrace, even if it can seem spooky at times. You just have that bow knowing sense. So we have Sharite, bonding, acceptance, service. Their presence in the present. Sharite shows you the gifts of living in the moment, enhancing gratitude and appreciation for the day-to-day. This is true acceptance, letting go of expectations for what your life should be and embracing what is right now. By just being. Sharite brings deep healing to your physical and emotional selves, down to your very cells, by reconfiguring your own programming into a new way of processing your daily life. After all, it is about perspective. Sharite helps you face your fears, see reality over projections, and live your truth, with Chiron being in Virgo, Scorpio, and Sagittarius. So there's that key: bonding, acceptance, service. You were meant to bring your intuition into some form of service to assist the collective. But there's also this sense of being able to accept yourself for who you are, your gifts that you have that people do not understand. And the bond that this card is talking about is the bond that you are going to create with yourself. The more that you accept yourself, the more that you bond with yourself, the more that you live in this present moment, you will find much more appreciation for the day-to-day, for each moment that you find. But I'm going to go ahead and leave that on that card. But that is ultimately the core message of this entire reading, this first card that we just talked about. Now, I want to look at the blind spots. Blind spots. I'm sorry, I'm looking at a different. What's blocking you? I guess that is a blind spot. I'm sorry, I was looking at the Counsel for Higher Self. So that may be a pile you are really, that would benefit you greatly if you've thought about it. But so we looked at the voice of your higher self, the message that they have for you right now. So now we're going to look at what is blocking the connection. And that's with this card. So this is Seraphina. She is, I am the angel of families. A happy change or addition is coming to your family. This is probably another pull that is coming through. You can feel the change already. You can feel something new is growing within you, whether this you being an actual mother, or you're expecting to be a mother, or maybe you are taking on the role of a caregiver, but some kind of happy change. This can be a move to a new home. This can be, there can just be a lot of things going on in your life. And when you have a lot on your plate, it can be really hard to see what it is that's trying to channel through here. So this card, what is blocking you? It's like there's this need to protect your children's future, or there's this need to protect your inner child, if you will. There's just this deep feeling of wanting to, it makes me think of somebody that wants to gear up and may have been through quite a bit in their life, and now they're like, I have to be on the defense at all times. I have to, in case somebody comes in case there's an intruder, in case there's just something that is going to try and take the things that I really love and care about away from me. And the more that you live in that sense of fear or worry or anxiousness, it's like these are things that keep you up at night. It's like I can't sleep at night because I'm thinking about the what ifs. Did I lock my door? Did I remember to take the appliances and turn them off so that way my coffee pot doesn't burn down the house? It's like this running rampant thought process that is coming through. But there's a piece of you that you feel like you have to protect at all times. And the instant someone tries to get close to it, you become that aggressive maternal mother. And think of like, you know how like when cats give birth and they have their kittens, and this could be a cat that is so loving and affectionate and was your best friend, and then the instant she has her babies and you're trying to help take care of her, and when you put your hand down in there, she takes it the wrong way and tears you up, and that leaves you wondering, and that can leave other people wondering, like whenever they try to get close to you, or a part of that inner child becomes significantly wounded by another person's actions, and you let the mama bear out, and then everybody takes it so personal. But in reality, it's just you're trying to protect yourself. You've always had to protect yourself. You've had to pick up on the cues and the signs and the energies and the environment that you were in. And your guides are saying that this way of living, this way of constantly having to be on the move, is blocking you from being able to relax, being able to listen, being able to be truly guided. Because when you're listening to the wrong side of your intuition, where it comes from fear, where it comes from illusions, where it comes from a heightened state with your emotions, it isn't truly guiding you. Your intuition does not cause fear. So you may have felt as if I stay in this one spot for too long, something bad could happen. I don't know what it is, but I can feel something bad is going to happen. I need to move. And at times, yes, that can help you. It can be productive. But if that's something you've been doing your entire life, you're not really listening to your intuition. You are operating in a sense of survival. You're operating with a sense of the need to strive, and you're not actually thriving. But when you feel that there is a lot of change going on in your life, or you feel like people are just adding a lot of things to you without you being able to have a voice or a say, or being able to express how you feel about these changes or additions that are going on in your life, it can put a lot of pressure on you. You start to feel agitated. You start to feel as if you're not worth the people that you are around. And so there's this constant cycle of, because I'm constantly having to prove myself, or I'm constantly having to rearrange my time, I'm constantly having to change my plans, I'm constantly having to put my own goals aside because of these changes. But there is a sense of frustration here. There's a sense of, like, as soon as you start to do adjustments, as soon as you start to lead from what your intuition is telling you, but it's coming from a sense of fear, like, you can feel the blocks. You can feel that there's a wall up, and it's like, what do you mean? I had this gut feeling I needed to do this, but why is it like I'm being met with every source of resistance? But in reality, your guides are coming in and saying, hold on. Yes, there is change that is coming. There is growth here that is coming. There is something that is being added to your life, but we are not adding fear to your life. We are not adding more to your plate. That's what we're trying to show you. We're trying to show you the people that are around us. We're trying to show you the family members, the friends, the coworkers that are taking advantage of, your spirited nature, your medicine maker nature. And this picture, it's like, if you can kind of look really close at her, she doesn't look very happy. And that's the feeling I'm getting from this. It's like someone threw something onto you and just expected you to be okay with it. And yes, you may be that friend or sibling or family member that tends to, watch other people's children, or maybe you pick up when other people can't pick up for themselves. You may go in and constantly help them with their home, cleaning, whatever the case may be. But this is letting you know that the world that you're wanting to create, you're creating it for other people. And they want you to take a step back, and that nurturing side that you have, to turn that towards you instead. To really start opening up those doors and relaxing. And when your environment is constantly disorganized, or if you start to notice that things in your life there's just too many, I heard wires in the basket, and I don't know why. That doesn't even make sense. When you've got too many crossed wires. There we go. When you have too many crossed wires in your basket, and everyone has their say on how they, they're tugging the wires, but they're making it worse, and they're creating this big knot, and that's not fair to you. And when you start to feel that you were upset with yourself because you can't take care of others, or you start to feel that there is a lack of movement, your guides are wanting you to really tune in and know your own feelings and priorities in that moment. And this card can come out when you are at a period where you're not being very honest with others. You're not sharing what you're bottling up inside. If you're a new mom and you've taken this identity of, I can handle this, I don't need to ask for help, I've done this before, and your guides are saying, no, it's not that you can't do it. It's just right now your senses are on hyperdrive, and you need rest. You need food. You need to be able to take a shower when you want to. You need to be able to step out and not be constantly absorbed into your environment that feels like it's not changing. So if you are a new mom, please reach out to whoever your close loved ones are, your partner, and really open up and say, I'm struggling with this a bit. Even if that means talking to a doctor, talking to like that medicine maker. Maybe there are some hormonal realignments or when your hormones are all over the place, if you will. And if you're a father who is taking on this kind of role, like, open up and speak up, but just try to see and observe what is causing the way these emotions are working. Really become a student in this moment to really work with this family dynamic that may be very new. And also take care of yourself as well. Make sure there is a balance here between both of y'all, where you're able to take care of your child's needs or your nieces and nephews, or if you're a caregiver and you're just taking over this kind of role, just make sure you are taking care of your needs. You're talking about what is, going on deep inside of you, and being able to tune into one and another, so that way you can still reconnect the relationship back. But I'm getting a lot of messages just from Serafina, but share your worries aloud. And let your spiritual family assist. Let your higher self come in, because you are so loved. I mean, you are so loved. The way you take care of people, the way you nurture others, the way you hold people, you take everybody in and say, this is my baby. I'm going to take care of you. You have been through so much, and I know what that is like. So I'm going to make sure I give you everything you need. And your guides, your higher self, is coming through and doing this for you as well, because your higher self sees this in you. Your higher self says, I love you. I see what you're going through. You have been through so much, and I am so proud of you. And I want to help you find these happy changes. I want you to find these positive additions that are coming right now to you, to your family, to the people that are soul bonded to you. But this is the angel of families. This is the person that comes in that says, I'm just here to make sure you're okay. So let's go ahead and look at the ways in which we can strengthen this connection, whether that be a practice or mindset, or how you can hear your higher self more clearly. And y'all actually have 2 cards for this reading. You have Earth School, Life Lessons, Soul Growth, Study, Higher Learning, and Earthed, Learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. So let me go ahead and kind of like push these off to the side, because I want to read your... Sorry, I just had a pause moment. So I'm actually going to read Earthed first. So Earthed, learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. The challenge for all souls having a human experience is to be in the world, but not of it. To realize they are souls having a human experience and being fully conscious of it. To have their soul fully embody their body. People's personalities tend to relate to either transcendence or immanence. Those who lean toward transcendence have a longing for the heavens and the metaphysical. They yearn for the personal experience with God and to be lost in heavens. They're envious of the angels and are more comfortable praying and hanging out in the stars than on earth. Those who tend toward immanence have attached themselves more to earth and their body. They spend more time thinking about things in this physical world rather than connecting with the heavens or their own mystical inner worlds. Being a fully embodied soul, having a human experience, means finding the balance between transcendence and immanence. Being in the world, but not of it. Most starseeds are drawn toward transcendence. They're more comfortable with the angels and the heavens. Life on earth can be more difficult for them. This is you. You're being reminded that you chose to be a soul in the body on earth. And you're being called to focus more of your energies in the physical world, to learn how to be human, a soul in a human body, fully present to what life on earth has to offer you. The Starseed Soul inquiry for this card is, do you tend to long for the stars or be more in the physical? How can you find greater balance between the two? So, and that could be, if you felt very drawn, especially to this crystal card right here, that where you're just tapped into your spiritual side a lot more than your earthly side. So your guides are coming in, they're trying to show you these people that can really help ground that for you. They can help you see that you do have a family here. Yes, we miss you in the stars. The higher self is like, I've already found a way to reconnect with that star seed side that has been planted, eons years ago, billions of years ago. And this higher self is saying, but there are things that we came here to do. Even though this is a much more rougher experience than the last one we had, there was something here that called us, that we knew we could help teach others, that we knew that we could help show others medicine, that we could be the shaman, we could be that lighthouse for others. But we have to be able to ground ourselves and actually take this time to learn, to be what it is to be a human, to experience it, to see all the different multidimensional personalities that we can really embody. So this card came up, and then this card came with it, and they are 2 and 2 together. So you are learning and growing here. You're learning these life lessons, and your soul is here to grow, to study, and just take on that higher learning, if you will. But let me go ahead and read Earth School. Planet Earth is a great initiation for the soul, and life lessons are the curriculum for which we enroll. These aren't one-time lessons, but themes we choose to circle around, deepening our experience of them as we make our way through the spiral of life. Life lessons aren't only about getting it right. They're also about getting it wrong. Remembering that Earth is a planet of polarity helps with this understanding. Each year, the study deepens more and more. If you pull this card while you're going through a difficult time, you're being prompted to remember that your soul came here to grow and learn. Try not to look at difficult times as getting it wrong. Instead, see them as opportunities for soul growth. If you can find a way to grow and soften your heart through the highs and lows, your soul is most definitely growing, which is the whole point. Pulling this card can also mean that you're being called to embark on a new area of study or growth. This could be through structured learning, such as university, school, or a training course. If you're having difficulties in a relationship, you're being reminded that these are opportunities for soul growth. After all, relationships are known as the number one way that we grow as souls while we're here on earth. How are you being called to grow and learn today? I feel a teacher. I feel a teacher. I feel a nurturer. I feel a soul that is a medicine maker. I feel a starseed here that is with me today that you've done this before already. But you also know there's so much more for you to learn in this lifetime. And you forgot you were a student. You forgot that you were growing. You forgot that you didn't need to be perfect all the time. You forgot that you didn't have to beat yourself up when you made a mistake, or when you try to listen to your intuition and it turned out wrong. Well, it was because it was coming from that sense of fear. But your guides are coming through, and They're wanting you to take this time to be a student. But let me go ahead and talk about the gifts that they are bringing to you. I'll also include the affirmations. So we have judgment, we have the Page of Cups, and we have the Moon. For the affirmations, we have I am total divine. I am courageous. And I am wonderful. Those are the affirmations you need to remind yourself when you need strength, when you need to remember to have courage, when you need to remember that you are still a wonderful person, when you need to take care of your needs, to remember you are still a part of the, total divine cosmos. But let me go ahead and kind of like break down these gifts that your higher self is bringing forward today. So we have judgment. One of your strengths that you have is your ability to awaken and your ability to give yourself forgiveness, to have that sort of compassion for yourself. And when you have those moments where you use your judgment wrong, you don't let it really try to, tear you up or beat you up. Or when you do have those spiritual moments where the divine is talking to you and your higher self is channeling a message and you can hear it clearly, you then take that information and start that awakening process. You can hear the call and know when it is time to rise up. You have the ability to close chapters and step into a new you. When something is not working for you, and that could be what this change that is going on. When you realize something is no longer working, it's whether it be a health routine, whether it be a learning curve, or when you've tried to give your all to another individual or your work even, you know when it's time to leave because you can see that there is resistance, there is no growth, and it makes you feel a certain way, or you've already learned everything you possibly could, if that sounds right. But judgment is coming through and saying, like, you're able to close those chapters. You're able to step into a new you as soon as you hear that call and you trust your intuition. And your higher self is saying you are backed in any decision that feels like a soul-aligned yes. Yes, this is good for you. Yes, this is good for your body. This is good for your mind. This is so good for your heart. Yes, I'm going to give you more of these things that make you feel lit up. I'm going to give you all the resources you need when you trust your judgment, when you are compassionate, when you are ready to step in the new you. I'm going to give you everything you need. And that is one of the gifts that your higher self is saying, is like, you already do that for others and you do that for yourself when you trust your intuition. The Page of Cups is saying your insight is worth trusting, even when it seems messy, even when you are trying to figure out, where is this coming from? Is this something I should be listening to? Like, even when things seem very like, there's no way this is a possibility. And you even doubt the good things that are there. It's like you can feel something is really good for you and you doubt it. You doubt it. You doubt that this was meant for you. You have more intuition than you think. And I've already said it before, but you probably doubt it. And you have this creative inner child that may have been shut down. And your higher self is coming in and asking you to really find ways to create more, to be more inspired, to think of the things that were very wonderful for you, that lit your inner child up. And I keep saying lit up because that is what is being illuminated here. Is there are areas in your life where your higher self is trying to put the biggest spotlight on it, so that way it can be like that stone, it can be that lantern that really lights up all the necessary steps for you to be in alignment with yourself. You have the strength of emotional honesty. Sensitivity is not weakness. When you are sensitive and people kind of like shut it down, if you're a woman and like, oh, you're just on your period. Oh, you're just so hormonal. Oh, you didn't get enough sleep. Or maybe you've already met all your needs and people still shut it down and say you're just being too sensitive. Sensitivity is not a weakness, and you should honor it. Let your senses, all of them, when you can just hear these auditory messages, they come from nowhere, but you can trust them. You know there's a reason why you're just hearing these things. You know why you see these things before you have any further information about it. Or whenever you're picking up, things and you just see this brief flash before your eyes and you're like, whoa, what was that? You just touched something, and it could be like you pick up a rock, or you pick up something that, has that symbolic tie to it that someone really, put energy into, and you can just like see it for a brief moment, you see it. It's not a weakness. And this could be, your guides are saying, really develop your clairs, your ability to feel, like really research all the clairs, the ones where they heighten your senses, so that way they can work better with you and find all sorts of different ways to connect with you. You need to give yourself permission to stop gaslighting yourself. If it feels off, it is. Follow what brings you joy. Your higher self is handing back your inner artist, your inner mystic, and your higher self is saying, stop putting them on mute. Have courage when you are, linking into that spiritual side of you. It can be scary when you start to see things, appear before you. I love the messages I receive, and I've received so many different types of messages, whether it be my lights, my candles, when I'm doing a card pull and I already have the card in my mind and it comes out in the deck. Like, yes, it feels weird, and then you start to become very paranoid and you start to feel this sense of this moon of, oh my gosh, what is lurking around me, especially when you start to become very scared of it. That is a possibility. You could be very scared of your own intuition. But your intuition can show you all the blessings that are coming your way. Your intuition can show you all the necessary steps that lead you to the right person, to the happy changes, the moves, the best career that was meant for you, that allows you to create and find things that are more emotionally fulfilling for you, that don't make you feel drained, that actually make you feel inspired and make you want to arrange your life from disorganization into organization. With the moon over here, your higher self is giving you the support to navigate the unknown, to walk in the dark, or swim in this case, and trust even when you can't see it. Trust that you are going in the direction that you need to go, that you're being guided. And I do kind of want to say this person is unbothered. They're just walking ahead. They're not in the original Wider Rate Tarot. The Page of Cups is actually looking at the cup, and they're looking at the fish that's inside the cup. But in this one, your higher self is saying, trust your intuition, keep moving, don't stop. Don't stop. Keep moving. Whether that be walking or swimming, or it's like the path to inner alignment here is don't stop that. Do the growth, do the changes, do the additions, do what you feel is aligned for you right now. Your higher self is saying you have this psychic night vision to move through uncertainty, through illusion and fear. You do have this ability. And you have this strength of the subconscious. Your dreams, the symbols you see, the synchronicities, and they are real data. They are real data that is being downloaded to you, like in this judgment. You're supported by a whole unseen team, not just your higher self, but a whole council of higher selves, of spiritual guides, ancestors, you name it. You are fully supported. And not everything is meant to be logical. Cycles, intuition, and divine timing are essentially running the show. And your higher self is saying, don't force clarity, just keep moving. Even when it doesn't make sense, just keep moving. Just know that, okay, this is going to help me grow. I'm just going to trust it. Move through the mystery without being paranoid, if you will, or not paranoid. Move through the mystery without panicking. Anytime you see, a bump in the night, or anytime you think something and hear it out loud, just move with it, go with it, and say, yep, that was for me. Thank you, Spirit, and move along with it. But your higher self wants you to stop waiting to feel ready or sure, waiting for the right moment, waiting for more cues and clues. You may be receiving all this information and then you're waiting for more information, but you didn't take the previous guidance and run along with it. You're like, oh, am I really supposed to do this? Are you sure you want me to? Is this really? It's like that kind of feeling. And your guides are saying, please stop. Yes, we could show it physically in front of you, but I don't think you would still move, is what I heard. But your higher self is saying, you already have everything you need for the green light. All right, now let's go ahead and look at your next step after receiving your gifts and knowing about your blocks. So we have flow with the rhythm. Your body is a wondrous thing filled with light and love just for you. Create space today to move in tune with your body, finding a place where you can be alone. In silence or with instrumental music, let your body flow how it desires. Get lost in your rhythms and release any notion of how you can or should move. Do not worry how it may appear. And look at this. This is like your soul team waiting for you to join them. This is something you have done for many, 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 many past lives. Like music can be very healing and nurturing. And if you've been thinking about picking up an instrument and learning how to play an instrument, or if you are somebody that sings or dances, or you love the arts. Like, this is that nudge. This is like, do the thing that makes you feel good. Be the Page of Cups. Explore that territory. Initiate yourself into it. And the self-care or the self-love oracle that is coming through is chin to chest and stretch the back of your neck. And this can be a symbol of, I talked at the beginning of the reading of laying down, tapping into your body and seeing what is tense. What has the most, it's like a knot, if you will. It's like a twisted knot. What has the most knots? Back to the wires again. But allow yourself to stretch. Allow yourself, when you carry yourself proudly, when you carry yourself with dignity and everybody looks up to you, that pressure that is put on you can be really hard to manage at times. So allow yourself to stretch, look up, allow yourself to sit down and ground yourself to the earth and flow with rhythm. And if you are, if you do have native ties, this would be a good time to really tap into your ancestral tree and maybe look at the dances that they did. If you like fires, I just imagine somebody building a fire in their yard and dancing around the fire. Like, really do that for yourself. Give yourself that ability to release to spirit and accept what spirit wants to give to you, what your higher self wants to show you by developing this intuitive relationship with the spiritual world. But we're going to go ahead and look at the energy that you need to embody. So bear with me as I try to uncover the archetype card that I covered. Go ahead and put that up there. Take that. I really love the colors that are coming through. Okay, so we have the stone, and I want y'all to go ahead and kind of like get a good image of this. Now, whenever I do the archetype deck, and I've been doing this for myself, there are 78 cards in there. And one of the things it says to practice whenever you are tapping into your intuition is first sit with the card and look at it, gaze at it till you're so tired of looking at it, because it's like looking at paint dry. But see what surfaces from your subconscious. See what the images, the lines, the colors, the symbols that are coming through and how they would represent for you. The stone makes me think of the rock, the thing that stays on earth. And I remember watching the news the other day, how there are these black and white photographs that we can use today and go back to these war grounds, these places that caused a lot of violence and aggression and separation of one and the other, and you can still see those rocks are still there today. And it's almost like you can honor a piece of your past by doing so. And that really came strongly for me. And that wasn't the original feeling I got from this, but a stone is going to last. You are going to last. The things that you put here on this planet will last a lifetime and more beyond that. And I'm noticing these triangles in this corner and in this corner. And then we have this equilateral triangle over here. And whenever I looked at these at the right, it's like they're looking in opposite directions. They're looking away from each other. And you may have been that person that has tried to, when someone had a disagreement, you were the person that kind of like brought them together to show them that either there were things that were not right about the situation, because I'm thinking of a right angle, or there's some truth to both of what these individuals felt or talked about or or wanted to get across, but they weren't seeing eye to eye. And this can even be a separation of your own self, where it's like you didn't trust the true physical object that was in front of you. And it's like the left side of your brain and the right side of your brain all had something to say about what was going on in front of you. But this triangle up here is showing you there's this balance. There are these pieces that are being put in place to make things a little bit more stable for you. And sometimes when we see the circle and we know that it's 360 degrees, I'm sorry if you're not a math person, but there's that logical side, guys, that's coming through. It's like you don't need to make logic out of everything. It's like you pick up on these messages and it's like you're trying to be like, okay, what does this really mean? What are they really trying to say? And they're asking you to breathe. They're asking you to, take a full 360 where you go all the way back to where you are and observe yourself from a different perspective to see what areas of your life are not balanced, what areas of your life that feel wrong. And think about the ways in which, and here's that dance I'm seeing this dance again, just like with this, here's the circle again, where we're kind of like meeting ourselves again, and we're being compassionate and self-forgiving. But when we go within and really see the areas of our life that don't feel safe, that don't feel stable, that don't feel secure, when we see the areas of our life that really light us up, that really bring us joy, that really make us feel balanced, it's like then we can see we're able to come together, hold our hands with ourselves, with our spiritual team, with our higher self, with our potential, and really dance around, the colors, the vibrancy, the things that help us create. But let me go ahead and read what this archetype talks about, so that way you can see this is a tool from the book that is being given to you to help you embody. This is like that stone that holds the sword. And you know who is meant to pull the sword out. You know who is meant to be in your life that has a pure heart. Like you already know. You already know who these people are. But so the stone is the eternal, the anchor, the rock. As an archetypal object, the stone holds psychic and literal weight. Its energy is one of permanence, concreteness, and reliability. The stone's ability to transform is nearly imperceptible to us, as it changes ever so slowly over countless human lifespans. A single stone may see thousands of generations come and go. Therefore, it contains an ancient and eternal presence. The stone is best used to anchor our wild side, so no matter how far we roam, we can always find our way back. The stone tethers us to earth, helping to ground and connect us to stillness, quiet, and peace. When this card appears, it is likely the stone is a remedy for what ails us, humble and easily unnoticed. The power of the stone balances the frenzy of our world. When the stone is light, it's steadfast, it's loyal, committed, and present. When it's dark, it's weighted down, holding back, or cold. There are some things you can do to go deeper into this stone archetype to help you embody this. And one of those is Caspar David Friedrich's A Walk at Dusk. See if you can see that. And then on the side, we have build a cairn in nature. Find inspiration in Andy Goldworthy's stone egg forms. And then in Jewish mourning traditions, stones are left at graves rather than flowers. Sit with this vision for a moment and see what unfolds. Now, this can be a literal stone for someone that has passed on in your life that you have been trying to connect with, and your higher self is saying, I am currently with this person right now. And they're wanting you to kind of like lift some weight off of you, to stop searching, because they're always around you. They're always waiting for you to ask when you need help, to ask when you need guidance. They're always there, and you shouldn't question it. But this could also be like if you feel bad and you're like, oh, I wish I could go bring them flowers. Maybe you're on the other side of the country. Maybe it's unfeasible for you to honor your ancestors or your loved ones that have passed. But you can still honor them by living and moving through your life into the mystery and not panic anytime there's a bump in the night. That's what I just heard. It's like you freak out every time I touch the lights. and I don't know what to do. It's like I'm trying to get your attention. But you can honor them and create a designated ritual somewhere in your home and basically say, I'm honoring my loved ones. I'm honoring this person. And I don't want them to be scared that I forgot them, because they know you haven't forgot them. It's like you're on their mind, their spiritual mind, and they are on yours. Y'all are always connected. And the more that you trust the rhythm and the flow that you move in life, the more you will be able to deepen that relationship you have with them. But my dears, that is your reading. This is the reading for your higher self, and you are more than welcome to check out the other piles or the higher council pile if you feel called to. But if you enjoyed this, one of the best ways to help support me and this channel is by leaving a like, a comment if it resonates, and sharing it with others if you feel it would help them. Sharing is caring. But I'm going to go ahead and end your reading here and go ahead and get over into the next one, guys. But y'all have a blessed day, and remember to trust your intuition. Hello, Pile 2, and welcome. Now, in the beginning intro, I forgot to show how the piles are going to break down. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for you, so that way you can kind of see how these cards are going to play out. Now, this first card right here with the crystal is going to be the voice of your higher self, the message that your higher self is trying to bring to you right now. So this is going to be the core message. Then we're going to look at what is blocking the connection, whether this be an ego pattern, fear, or distraction that's muffling your inner wisdom. And then hopefully bring awareness to what specifically is getting in the way. Then we're going to look at how to strengthen your connection, what practice or mindset that would help you hear your higher self more clearly, what actionable guidance that may be, whether that be like meditation, journaling, nature, you name it. We're going to explore that. Then over here with these tarot cards, we're going to look at the gift that your higher self is going to give you, what strength, insight, or support that they're offering, and a reminder of the resources that you may already have within. And then the next thing we're going to look at is your soul's next step, what that aligned action is that you can take that honors your highest path, and how to really ground the spiritual into the practical. Then the last thing we're going to break open is the energy that you need to embody, the aspect of your higher self that you're being called to harness. This is going to be your anchor. This is that archetype or energy to carry with you. But without further ado, let me go ahead and talk about this this energy I'm feeling. And I heard, whenever I was channeling your reading, I heard your higher self say, like, all the times you have fallen and got back up are what helped you be stronger today in this moment. That I am proud of your courage. I am proud of your ability to stand in the center and embrace your truth. And your energy has helped motivate. And the energy you have right now motivated who you can become. It's like your energy has helped others. And whenever I was looking at this, it was like the reason that came through is, look at all these stones that have fallen over, but we have this central point that is standing strong. And the more that you got up, the more that you looked at, okay, what did I do wrong? Okay, maybe I need to fix this. Or, okay, this is what's working. This is what I need to do. And you kept doing it over and over. It's that practice is making things more perfect for you. And you understand that. And your higher self is saying, please don't stop doing that. Keep trying new things. Keep trying new ways. Keep taking this opportunity, because these stones are going to be eventually your stepping stones. It's like you're rebuilding your own tower. You are rebuilding and finding ways that really make you feel golden inside, because this makes me think of gold. But within your core center, the biggest message that you have right now is to take a step back and acknowledge where you have come from, and be thankful for those moments that were rough. Be thankful for the things that did make you stronger. But this is Golden Healer. Abundance, expansion, golden rays. Universal life flows strongly with the Golden Healer. With an exceedingly high vibration, Golden Healer carries bioscular waves, an abundant form of power that increases in spatial mass. This potent energy can expand awareness across multiple dimensions, transforming your vibration all the way down to the cells in your body. Connected to the solar plexus, this stone allows the highest form of healing for your identity and self-worth, releasing ancestral trauma that may have affected you and have been passed down through your family lineage, with this card being Sun in Leo. So there's a lot of healing that is coming your way. You may not see it. You may not know that what you are doing is very healing. You may not be able to see the results just yet, but your higher self is saying what you're doing right now is working. Keep doing it. Trust it. Because this is like, this golden healer crystal is like, it's healing you, it's healing others, and it's helping you create that reunion that your higher self is really working hard towards reconnecting you with, is the two of you together. You yourself, you and yourself. It's your present moment meeting with your future moment. It's that kind of thing that is coming through. But I'm going to leave that there. So let's look at what may be blocking you from being able to speak to your higher self. So we have patience. Now is the time to learn, study, and gather information. Enjoy being a student, because in the future you will synthesize your knowledge into action. If you felt called to pile one and you needed a little bit of encouragement of whether or not that pile was also for you as well, I encourage you to do that reading as well, because there's a couple cards that talk about being a student, recognizing that, we really did come here for a reason on this planet, and it's just a matter of remembering it. It's a matter of trusting the time and just going with the flow, being open to the new experiences in this life. But you are a healer, and in the processes that you are going through, like I said, like you may be more focused on the outcome. And patience coming through is saying, like, right now you may be very impatient with yourself. You may feel, when you, like, say, if you didn't feel as if you were this tower right here, like, say this is your higher self already standing strong, and maybe you are one of these other blocks and they're pointed in different directions, and you became very frustrated with yourself and you didn't see how close you were to the results that you were working towards if you had just kept at it. There are one side of this crystal where you barely see any attempts, if you will. That's what I'm seeing. On this side, I don't see attempts, and I see this direction you may have went that was completely opposite of what was true to your nature. And then on one side of you, it's where you never gave up. You just kept, persisting. And your higher self is wanting you to find people, teachers, masters who are more knowledgeable than you are now. They want you to expand and grow your mind. They want you to expand and grow your intuition. They want you to expand all the different ways in which you can heal yourself and show others how to heal themselves as well, and just test and try. It's like I just seen this image of someone out in the woods, and they're picking herbs, they're picking all sorts of different medicinal and holistic things, and finding what is earthly healing for themselves. So if you have felt called to start your own grimoire, if you will, and I just recently had a dream, and I guess I'm going to talk about it, but I had a dream where Martha Washington had this, it's like an apothecary grimoire that had all these plants and herbs and flowers that had all these different properties it did. And she was tasked with the job of making her flag for the country. And in my dream, I was like, why haven't you finished? Why haven't you finished the flag then? And she said she was missing the color blue. And in my dream, I had to figure out what was going on in nature that made it hard for her to find the color blue, because there was this flower, two flowers that looked just alike, and the only way they were able to tell which flower provided the blue dye was how a dragonfly landed on that flower. And something in the environment was causing the dragonflies to attack each other and rest on the wrong flower. And that, I don't know if that dream may mean anything to you, but at the time it meant a lot to me. But I had to be very patient. I had to really research what my subconscious was trying to tell me. I had to be a learner of my own, or a student of my own intuition, to see what it was trying to teach me. And in that dream, there were just so many different symbols and synchronicities that were aligning in that time. And that is what they're trying to show you, is how to, when you see there is that glimpse of that potential future, to be patient, to not stop what you're doing right now, and to keep moving forward with it. To see the copycats that are around you, that, okay, I just picked that up, Spirit. Or, okay, your higher self is saying that not everything is as it seems. Not every person who has a doctorate or a PhD in whatever field it may be is the only advice that you should follow. You need to trust what it is that you are absorbing, and if you know that what is being taught is false, like you just know without a shadow of a doubt, find the teachers who have the right information, that have that backed source, that have those true evidence backing, if you will. Because this also makes me think of someone that has been going to doctors, and that is another thing that I'm getting from your higher self is you went to every doctor, you've listened to all the advice that you could possibly hear, but nothing was working. It's like they didn't take into account, it's like you explained some symptoms, but they didn't take into account your nutrition. They didn't take into account the heavy load that you may be working with at work, or the stressors that were going on in your life that were causing these subtle things to cause these illnesses, if you will. And I know like my message is kind of like going back and forth between being a student and whatnot, but right now your body is trying to come through. Your higher self is saying, listen to your body, and second opinions, people who have tried things a different way, explore that is coming through really strong right now. But don't be impatient with the medicine. Give it the opportunity to do what it was meant to do, but do not try to mix a whole bunch of things in with it, because it feels like there's something that is being counteractive to your healing. That may be just for one specific individual, and I hope y'all hold space. But give yourself patience. Give yourself room to breathe, to not be upset when, oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm channeling right now. Like that is it's just, I'm imagining somebody in like a hospital right now, and it's like this was supposed to be the thing that was supposed to work. Or somebody that's in a counseling office, and because everybody told them that they needed to do this, that they needed to do this, that they needed to do this, that everybody kept saying, you need to be on this, you need to be on this. And it's just causing a lot of frustration. It's causing a lot of impatience, and nobody is letting you actually speak about all the things that are worrying you. But right now you need to be gathering information. And this, I haven't already went to the thing that would help you, but I would go ahead and grab a nutritional journal, grab a dream journal. Basically, for the next 2 to 3 weeks, really record what you are observing, that you can actually observe. Or it's like, anytime I eat this certain food, I have this reaction. Or when I'm walking outside and I breathe in this specific area, I notice my asthma gets triggered. It's something like that is coming through. That was a very specific higher self message for the collective, or for the few. Take what resonates. But let's go ahead and look at how to strengthen your connection, so that way you can have more patience with yourself and really sit on the side with your emotions and see what is being pulled in, what the sun is trying to illuminate. Because this sun is kind of like, it's falling, or not falling, it's oh my Lord, it's sunsetting, it's resting. The sun is resting. And when the sun is resting, this is giving you the opportunity to see what areas of your life are unknown. What is truly in the shadow over here? What is truly in the shadows over here? Like, what are you standing on? What is worth observing? And see what sits with you. But the way to strengthen this connection is, we have the weight of the world, boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. And I want to show the image of this art where this individual is really allowing herself to release and float and not let things try to pull her under. And at first, maybe in this image, it's like you were on the edge of this, and it's like, I want to go into the water. It's like, I really want to go and float with myself for a bit, but there's something that has been tethering me to this land, this earth, if you will. It's like, I don't know how to be patient with myself is what it feels like. But let me go ahead and get the book for this. So this is the weight of the world. You don't need to carry it all. You're no good to anyone if you're running on empty and bogged down by the weight of the world. This card is a reminder to look after your own well-being before anyone else's, to stop carrying the world's problems on your shoulders, to put on your own oxygen mask first. In these changing times, it's hard to feel overwhelmed, or it's hard not to feel overwhelmed by the state of the planet. However, you can't take on its problems from a place of energetic depletion. This card is thanking you for caring so much. You want to build a better world and ease the road for others, and that's incredible. But the way you've been doing so is likely unsustainable. This isn't to say you should switch off to the world's problems and become unconscious. Rather, it's a call to establish clear boundaries so you're not constantly taken out energetically. The planet needs you to be healthy, both physically and emotionally. So instead of digesting the news or reaching for your phone as soon as you wake up, show up first to a nourishing practice such as meditation, soul inquiry, deep breathing, or exercising in nature. Once you're in a state of grace and your inner well is full, you can face the day, the state of the world, and care for others. And at the end or the day's end, take an energetic shower by emptying out anything that's not yours to carry. You can pick it up again the next morning, if you so choose, but give yourself time and space to rejuvenate and rest. What are you carrying that isn't even yours? And sometimes the heaviest thing we can carry is knowledge. It's knowing that we need to do, but also knowing that we need to rest, that we need to be patient, that we need to absorb all the things that we learn and take in. And this makes me think of the nights I would stay up all night before a test and then bombing the test. And rather than just, studying a little bit here, studying a little bit there, and then making a really good result on a test, it's like you're trying to force yourself, you're competing against yourself, and your body wants you to rest. Who are you competing against? What is not meant for you to carry? And allow yourself to relax. But let me go ahead and talk about the gifts that your guide is bringing forward for you today. So we have, if I can, oh my goodness. We have the We have the Six of Wands in reverse. We have the Five of Wands in reverse. We have Temperance upright. And we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. It's a good thing I write those down, otherwise I'd forget. Oh, okay. Guys, anytime you hear something, learn something new, write it down. Write it down so you don't forget it, because this could be something you can synthesize later on This is information. Maybe somebody talks about a type of philosophy and you didn't know what that philosophy was about, or you hear someone talk about a new branch of science that's being explored, or you name it, whatever it may be, write it down. Or someone says, oh, I like reading this author's book. Write that name down so that way you can come back to it. But the biggest gift that your higher self is bringing you is self-source confidence. It's conflict immunity, spiritual alchemy, and timing. It's freedom to redefine success and what that means for you. Your higher self is basically saying, hey, you're already carrying some powerful gifts, even if they don't look like it yet. With the Six of Wands in reverse, the gift of inner validation is being restored. You don't need to physically hear the applause or even think about like it's like you were defining success on your own terms. You're not looking how success may appear to another person. And that could be the biggest gift that is truly coming through, is being patient and validating the things that you are learning about yourself, that are coming into your world, that are working for you, and not caring that it didn't work for somebody else. It's like, that it works for you. You're doing what it does. You're doing what it does because it feels good. It brings you inspiration, and it brings so much more harmony to your life. And the gift here is saying, I'm running with it because it makes me feel good. It's making me feel successful. And I don't need someone to cheer me on the entire way. And that could have been hard at first for you, is turning back. It's like a child turning back and looking to their parent to see if they've seen them jump 5 steps down and successfully landed it. It's being your own parent. And anytime you make an accomplishment or an achievement or whatever the case may be, it's you feel good. You are giving yourself that applause. I'm giving you an applause right now, always, for choosing to be the best version of yourself, to be that student. But celebrate your private wins. That's one of the biggest gifts you can give yourself. The Five of Wands in reverse is the gift of inner peace. It's release. It's walking away from drama that isn't yours. That weight that we were talking about, it's not yours to carry. You aren't meant to fix it. You may hear about it, but you don't need to be the one that does something about it always. And this is something I can learn constantly with myself. Anytime I heard of an issue going on and I knew how to do it, and you can share the advice, you can share the personal stories that have worked for you. And when people don't take that advice, or when people don't try what it is that you have done that has worked for you, it's like, all right, they would rather just live in this kind of like drama world, if you will. But you have gifted discernment, harmony over being right. You don't need to prove yourself all the time. It's like that show Merlin, Adventures of Merlin. My family and I have been watching that, even my children. And the entire series, Merlin he understands he has these gifts. He understands that at any point that he can prove how strong he is, how mystical he truly is, but he doesn't have to prove himself. And that is like your guides are saying you don't always have to prove yourself. If people who just constantly want you to be like, oh, so you can, and then it's like they're saying do a backflip, but you know you can do a backflip. But the true power here is not giving them the opportunity to see it. If you already did it and they missed it, that's on them. They should have been paying attention. With temperance over here, you're being given the gift of alchemy. This is the higher self love note that is being given. You can blend opposing parts, such as like logic and intuition, work and rest, independence and connection. You're being given patience and divine timing. You already have patience here, but temperance is also giving you patience. Like that is one of the biggest things that she sees, or he sees, if I can speak, that they realize that you truly do need right now. The gift of patience. Patience with those that expect you to do those backflips whenever they say do the backflip. You said you could do the backflip, do the backflip. Or, oh my goodness, Shrek with the child that says, do the roar. And Shrek's like, no, I'm not going to do the roar just because you said so. And the kid's like, do the roar, do the roar. And it won't let up. It's like, you don't have to do the roar. You don't have to do the backflip. You don't have to prove, if something works. You don't have to. You really don't. It's like, separate yourself. Like, that's a weight you shouldn't even carry. But temperance she's with patience. It's the gift of moderation. It's healing and finding the middle path, that balance that's coming through. It's the spiritual richness. It's with the Ten of Pentacles, now I'm leaning heavy into the Ten of Pentacles because the Ten of Pentacles is saying you're being given the gift of redefining wealth, to not be bound by old family patterns or how things should be. This gift is also helping you break generational cycles, to choose your family, to choose your friends, and to find values that help you align to the living that you want to live. But yeah, I'm tremendously feeling like this conflict immunity is going to be one of the best gifts that your higher self is giving you. And helping you alchemize the heavy parts in your life that do feel like weights. And if you have never worked with Merlin's energy, I encourage y'all to kind of like look into that and see what are some of the signs and subtleties or ways that Merlin would like to work with your energy, because I feel like you would benefit greatly from it. The affirmations that the gifts are bringing you is, I am prosperous. I am ready to take action. I am grateful. And I am fearless. You don't need to prove how brave you are. You don't need to prove how strong you are. You're prosperous in the knowledge that you are gaining in this moment. And I just heard, like, could you imagine if you tried to prove somebody something you've done thousands of times, in that one moment you tried to prove yourself, you end up hurting yourself in the process? I just heard that. It's like, whatever the case may be, you don't need to prove that you can do the splits, or I know there's a lot of like physical things, but I'm like, but yes, but like, allow yourself to be grateful for these moments where you can be patient and not entertain the people that are in their conflict. Or like, it's like when you're on social media and you see everybody is already jumping on the horse and beating the horse, if you will. And that is probably not the right way to say that. And I am so sorry if that did not come out right. But it's like, you recognize if you were to go in and hit the piñata at the same time when everybody has a stick, someone's going to get hurt. But they're like, I bet you've never hit a piñata before. And you could be like, I am the best at hitting the piñatas. Thank you very much. And then they're like, well, then prove it. But then the instant you try to prove it, everybody tries to take a swing at it at the same time as you, because there's this sense of fear of you actually being able to do the thing that you're going to do. So they want you to mess up. They want you to trip over yourself. And your higher self says, take a step back. See how these people would want you to mess up, because they are insecure with themselves. They are not balanced themselves. They are pushing your buttons intentionally, and you are being given the gift of conflict immunity. But let me reveal the next step that you need to be taking right now to kind of help you with this energy, to take these gifts, to take all this information, what that next step would be. And so in my inner child oracle deck, I usually take out the 2 cards that tell you a little bit about some of the spreads that you can do. And for your reading, I completely forgot to do that. And the first card that came out was the inner child spread. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, it's like having the Joker and you forgot to take the Joker out. But I really feel for your case, this is something that would really benefit you greatly, especially if you found that as you were a child, the adults around you would not show patience with your growth. And so you're having to relearn how to be patient, how to celebrate your victories, how to not react anytime you walk into a room and you think everybody's fighting or killing each other, if you will. If you grew up in a big family, I did. And then you come to find out like, oh, they're just playing, they're just horsing around. But this is the inner child spread. So I encourage you, if you have your own tarot deck, or if you are interested in this tarot deck, I will leave the decks I use in the comments below if you haven't already picked up one of these. But this is the inner child spread to help identify the needs and desires of your inner child. This spread can be used with any deck. And the first question it has is your inner child needs or desires. 2, what is holding you back from fulfilling these needs? 3, what actions to take to help overcome the obstacles that are holding you back? And 4, the outcome of having these needs and desires met. And you probably already have an inclination of what this is talking about, and you can go ahead and start journaling what you truly believe your inner child needs right now if you haven't already picked up a deck. But this is a great sign to go ahead and do that. Be a student to your inner child, if you will. But without further ado, let me go ahead and talk about this. So one of the things that you can take right now to help you regain more patience, to be in tune with your higher self so that way you can listen to what it is that they're trying to reveal for you, is spend time in nature. The beauty of nature offers our souls unlimited nourishment. Go outside today and connect with the earth. Feel the warmth of the sun on your skin. Touch the softness of a plant. Listen to the babble of a stream. Dig your toes into the rich soil and feel yourself connected to this wondrous place we call home. So it's like there's this like call to go and just really be a part of nature, be a part of the environment, to separate yourself from the drama that may be back in the city or the town, but allow yourself to spend time in nature. Really connect. And that's another indication that Merlin is trying to work with you. I will say that. That is another indication. But let me go ahead and put this over here. All right. Oh, and the self-care, self-love oracle that is coming to help with this is smile. Your beauty radiates that way. Allow yourself to smile, guys. You're beautiful. Your higher self knows you're beautiful. Your higher self says, I am beautiful. But smile because you radiate. Like the sun, your smile is the sun. All right. Now, the last card, the last thing we're going to talk about is the archetype that is the energy that you need to embody. So this is Anima Mundi, if I can pronounce that. And whenever I do an archetype reading, especially for myself, one of the things it recommends is sitting with the card, looking at all the images and the symbolisms that are in it that call to you, draw it, and see what questions you may have about it. And by doing this, you are developing a deep connection to this energy that is trying to come through. But I'm going to go ahead and read the book so that way you can kind of get a better briefing on it. This card is an initiation card, and your higher self is saying you are being initiated into something. You are ready for it, even if you had some doubts, but there is action here for you to let you know that you are ready. And I know I mentioned Merlin, but Merlin will let you know if he's been trying to reach and observe and talk to you. One of the things he does is, like, if you feel called to nature, if you have been called to stones, ancient stones, and pile one did have their archetype was the stone. So that's another confirmation if you were called to pile one. But this is Anima Mundi, the soul of the world, all that is. Anima Mundi epitomizes the principle, accept all, reject none. Simply put, it is the living soul of the world in all its multifaceted, multidimensional layers, bonded together by loving cosmic forces. Diversity is celebrated, multiplicity is honored, and nothing is denied embrace. Constructs of separation dissipate into the wonderful mess of shared consciousness. Anima Mundi is the link between the literal and the imaginal, the rational and the mythic. It is the connective fiber that makes life meaningful. This card indicates an initiation on the level of the soul. You will awaken the unique light within and witness how this light contributes to the radiance of the entire universe. You will sense yourself as a critical note in the cosmic orchestra. Destiny is altered as you hear the enchanted melody of all living things. When this card is light, it's tending to the sacred details of life. When it is dark, it is overwhelmed by the bigness of existence. To go deeper, review alchemical drawings of Anima Mundi, the life and paintings of Hilma af Klint. And I encourage my artists, my people who draw, that spend time in nature and just they're able to connect, really look up Hilma af Klint's work. She is truly inspiring. And then over here we have the embrace of Anima Mundi is available anytime, anywhere to anyone, day or night, rich or poor. It is a process of unveiling our resistance to its love. Anima Mundi is the energy behind the World card in the Tarot deck. Both carry themes of universal unity, completeness, and embrace. And if you have felt like you have been, now that we're talking a little bit about the World card, if things feel like you can't complete them, or it's like you're in a process of trying to finish a project, or you're trying to enter into a new chapter of your life, but it's like you can't. You could be in a liminal space kind of energy. And until you sit with that space you're in, imagine, so if you don't know what liminal space is, imagine like you were in a room and now you have traveled into a hallway. But before you can go to this other room that you're supposed to be in, you have to be able to make use of this liminal space to see what is being uncovered here. But this is one of those things that you can do to really help you honor your best version of yourself and to connect with your higher self. So that way you may be able to take the gifts that are here today that she is bringing to you and help revealing, and take action on those things with courage. But that is your reading, my dears, and I cannot wait to hear the comments. And one of the best ways to help support my channel is leaving a like and sharing this if you feel as if this may help another person. So please share. I encourage it. And if you feel called to another pile, you're more than welcome to dive into another pile or even participate in the higher council if you want. But I'm going to go ahead and end it here, and I wish y'all many blessings. Bye, guys. Hello, my pile threes, and welcome. Now, I forgot to talk about how the reading was supposed to break down in the intro, and I apologize, but I don't want y'all to kind of be like, oh my God, where is this going? But let me go ahead and tell y'all a little bit how this is breaking down. So the first card that we are using is the voice that your higher self is sharing with you. The message that they have right now, it's the core message. It's essentially what you need to hear today. We're going to look at what is blocking the connection, whether that be an ego pattern, fear, or distraction that's muffling your inner wisdom, and ultimately like how to bring awareness to what that is getting in the way. And then we're going to look at the way in which you can strengthen the connection. This can be a practice or mindset that'll help you hear your higher self more clearly and really just give you actionable guidance, that whether it be meditation, journaling, nature, you name it, swimming in the park. But the next card is going to be the gifts that your higher self is giving you today. And this could even be stuff that you already have that are being reminded so that way you can see those resources. But we're seeing the insight or the support that they're offering. And then we're going to look at your soul's next step, what aligned action that you can take that will honor your highest path, or how to really ground the spiritual into the practical. The last thing we are going to really tie in this reading together is the energy that you need to embody. So this could be an aspect that your higher self is calling you to harness. This is the anchor, the archetype or energy that you need to be wearing with you. But I am excited to dive into your reading. And I love the colors in this card. I really do. It's this magenta pink. It makes me think of crown chakra. It's being able to understand what is going on, even if you don't know what's going on. And I heard your higher voice say, and I did this for all the readings. If I heard a song or if I seen an image that popped out of me whenever I was looking at the crystals, like I made sure to write it down so I didn't forget it. But there's a path helping move around obstacles with ease. There's a path that you can choose right now that causes the less amount of stress, as if whenever you went down it and it was like super easy, and it's like all the doors were opening up. You didn't even need to go look for the key to unlock the door. The door was already unlocked. There was these steps that just appeared out of nowhere, or these moments that are so synchronized that it would be foolish not to listen to them. And they're wanting you to understand that yes, this is the path you are meant to have on. And it's at first you make it very comfortable how easy it is. And they notice that as soon as there's a little bit of pressure or there's a little bit of, resistance, that in some ways it can cause a disturbance where you're like, oh my gosh, here it is, the big rock. I knew there was a rock in the first place. And it's like it prevents you from moving forward. It's like you completely throw that path away altogether. You've had all the reasons to believe that this was meant for you with all the doors that opened up, and then the instant that there is a boulder or a step that is way too high for you to take, that it causes this little bit of resistance. But we need to acknowledge that, those steps, some steps are going to be easier to take than others. And your higher self is saying, when you realize you are a part of the sky, like that moment where you have a boulder, rather than staring at that boulder that is in front of you or the mountain that is in your mind insurmountable, to take in your scenery, to turn around and look at all of the things that you have accomplished, look at the sky and almost feel as if, because this card, I see this pink energy, and in some cases this looks like someone who is getting ready to leap because they recognize that they are a part of the sky, that they are a part of something bigger, that they are not this rock, they are not this boulder, they are not meant to be stuck always. And it's like a reminder of the wings that you have, that you are able to climb over this boulder, that you have all the tools and resources you need in order to climb this mountain, or even see that this path right here, you may have thought you had to keep going straight, but then if you had taken the time to see that there was this other path that flows around it, then you would have been able to move around this obstacle with ease. And maybe over time, this barrier that wasn't originally here will get smaller and smaller in the distance, and it's no longer a big deal for you any longer. And this could be, if you're somebody that likes to follow things from step 1 to step 5, and it's like you have to do everything in order, or like when you're making a recipe or a cake and it's like, I've got to do everything exactly how they say, but then when you do, it tastes awful. It tastes like crap. And your guides are saying, why didn't you just, what seasons work for you, what types of flour and sugar and melodies that you can put into the cake that you're making that would make it taste really good. You already know. And then when you try to do the recipe that everybody says is the best recipe, and kind of like you basically tell yourself, oh, I don't have the best recipe, so I guess I should try it. But then when you try it, it's like you realize, oh God, that's crap. I have the best recipe. It's like, give yourself a little bit of validation here, if you will. And recognize, like, yes, there are going to be these steps. There are going to be things that you were not meant to follow. Like, you had this path that was so easy for you, and the instant that somebody created that sense of doubt in your mind, it made you question. It made you kind of let someone take a hold of the reins, because this makes me think of chariot energy, where you had everything set in course, you knew exactly what your intentions were, and you were going about it. And then that little bit of doubt, that little bit of fear, that little bit of imposed illusion was placed in front of you. It's like, this is like a fake. It's like you thought this was a boulder, like you've seen it ahead, and it's like, oh my God, that's a big boulder. And then come into reality that it's just fog, rolling in. And you didn't need to abort the path you were on. You were just meant to trust in the things that you couldn't see beyond that. You could see that your energy was aligning on the other side, but whatever was in front of you spooked you. And when you realize you are a part of the sky, you will be ready to jump. And all the obstacles become smaller and more manageable. That you'll be able to flow and take the scenes in as you climb higher. Now, this crystal is Big Spite. It's all about timing, action, change. Timing is everything, and with Big Spite, that couldn't be truer. Big Spite has an impeccable knack for the right timing and can encourage you to try new things, pursue an opportunity, or change anything that needs an update. Big Spite opens the connection between your base chakras and your heart chakra and infuses you with the unconditional love for yourself and others. Big Spite encourages energy expressed as action, movement, and progression to move toward true alignment between you and your soul. Update what's outdated with joy and recharge your life with Moon in Aries and Taurus. This card here is saying the energy within to cultivate more patience will help you plant, will help you nurture, and will help you sow new fruits for new fields. That's really what this card is saying. Now let me go ahead and focus on something that could be getting in the way of you being able to connect with your higher self. So we have Rosetta here. You have a gift for working with young people, and your divine purpose involves helping teaching or parenting children. And I want to go ahead and kind of mention something that I have noticed about the piles before yours. Pile 2, I, without a shadow of a doubt, felt that they were called to pile 1. If you picked this as your first pile, I am thinking that you are very connected to pile 1 and pile 2 at the same time. So if you do feel encouraged to watch the other readings, I would suggest you take the message you received today and then come back to the other ones later down the road. But don't try to absorb it all at once, because that would be information overload on your part. But you may be closing your heart off and not exploring your inner child in a way that honors a healing connection with younger souls than you. And this doesn't necessarily need to talk about children. This can talk about if you're in an environment. So I'm 32, and when I worked in retail, I worked with a lot of younger folks. I worked with teenagers. I worked with people in their early 20s. And I remember being so frustrated with some of the younger energies, thinking, why can't you just be serious? We all have a job to do. I'm not asking you to act like me, but where is your sense of integrity? Where is your sense of purpose? And they just seen this as, they're going to go to college, or they had other plans outside of high school, and that it wasn't like how it was for me. Like that was my career. That was my go-to. That was my whole being at that time period in my life. But there were kids that were like, well, I'm going to be an engineer. I'm going to be a doctor. Everything I do here, there's no sense or purpose in it. And I'm just doing this because my parents told me I had to get a job. It's like trying to find ways to be patient and connect with them on a way that doesn't feel aggravating. It's like it doesn't tear your inner soul up. But there could be parts of you, of your inner child, where you had to grow up really, really quick. You had to be an adult. It's just things, you had a lot of things put on you. And it's like you're forgetting, like, you don't have to be that way. You can allow these teenagers, these younger people in their 20s, these children, even actual children, you can actually just let them explore and feel the world for how it is. And you can share your wisdom in a very positive way. You just have to. And I just heard there is something that you could learn from them as well. Learning how to be carefree, learning how to be creative, learning how to go with the flow, to laugh and make mistakes, but laugh at your mistakes and not take it so seriously. And your higher self is recognizing that you do want to create a better present moment, but the worries of like your temperament, your emotions, or the fear of losing control are holding you back. Like, and this could be an indication of, if you've never worked with your chakras, that especially the first few chakras, I'm talking about your root chakra, your sacral chakra, your solar plexus chakra. And when you don't live in an like, if you didn't grow up in an environment where you could express your emotions in a healthy way, or you had to repress your emotions, you weren't allowed to get mad, you weren't allowed to get sad, you weren't allowed to be a certain emotion, now's a great time to explore those areas of your life where you can. You have a right to your emotions. You have a right to feel. You have a right to express and honor your needs. You have a right to exist. I said that in the beginning of this video, but your higher self is coming through and yelling. If you get mad and it's justified, you have every right to be upset. If someone intentionally throws a snake on your path and is trying to basically, and it's not knowledge, because snakes symbolize knowledge. Snakes symbolize rebirth and change and shedding things. But if somebody is trying to enforce that upon you, you have every right to be upset. You have every right to say, I'm not wearing that skin. I'm not wearing those clothes. I'm not putting on this mask. I have every right to become the person I want to become. And if there have been people in your life that have said, don't be a parent, don't be a teacher, don't be a healer, don't be a PE athletic coach, or whatever, or a psychologist or a therapist, if you have people that are telling you to like not do that path, that's, if you know it's aligned for you, then follow your truth. Follow what lights you up. But allow yourself to feel the feels, to be sensitive, to not gaslight yourself. And there is this sense of your higher self has had to go through a major transformation in order to get to the point where they are. And they remember the point in their life where they always had to control what they thought might bring other people joy. And when we try to bring the things that we think other people will be happy with and it's not acknowledged, we become discouraged. We feel that we are not appreciated any longer, that our work is not worthy anymore to this person. And it makes us feel as if like we are trying to validate ourselves, validate our goals, validate our passions by what we think another person might be happy with. This could be trying to please a parent, trying to please a partner that doesn't know how to find their own worth. It's like this constant need for validation. It's this, and in pile 2, I talked about this as well, but this is like the child that had to turn and look behind them to see if there was approval for what they are doing, because that was the only time they had validation. So there is a lot of blockages here that, and this could be that fog, this could be that mountain, that until you work with the things that they're bringing for you today, that's when you'll be able to see how far you can climb, how far you can truly fly and be prosperous and abundant at the same time. And with this sense of discouragement, you may not acknowledge the difference you make with new seeds, new people, younger people. You may not see that you are making a difference. If you are a teacher, you do make a difference. If you are a friend that gives counsel to other people, you do make a difference. Even if they don't follow your advice, even if they don't, it's like, I just had this image of somebody that climbed Mount Everest. They did it. They're proud of themselves. They climbed Mount Everest, and then they came back down to earth. And then everybody was like, how did you do it? How did you climb to Mount Everest? And it's like, oh, here, let me show you. I know the exact tools you need. I know the exact resources you need. I know exactly what you need in order to climb Mount Everest. Are you interested? And they say, yeah, I'm interested. Tell me more. And then you actually show them again, time and time and time and time again. And then at some point you start to realize, like, you were always the one climbing to the top by yourself. That they never had the strength and in that moment to do what it is that you do. And so you find yourself constantly on the ground trying to get people to the level of, whether it be enlightenment or level of peace, level of patience, or, that grown sense of self. Like when you see that there are people struggling with the things that you used to struggle with, it's like, how do I help show these people the seeds? And I talked about this either in Pile 2 and Pile 1. And this is something that I've had to learn too, especially when you become a some kind of counsel to other, is you want people to be with you on the journey. You want to feel that validation. But unless they are hungry, they are never going to eat the same cake as you, that you enjoyed, that you have made for yourself, that has worked, that you have used all the ingredients to make, more tastier, more savory. But acknowledge that you do make a difference even when they don't take the wisdom you share. Don't allow yourself to be scared to use curiosity to explore new territory, because there may be a sense of fear here when there is this block of, and this block is opening up a path where you tune in with yourself, tune in with your chakras, tune in with your inner child. And once you do that tunement, then you will see that the path will then take you straight, where it will be easier and the doors open up again for you. And one of the questions it's asking you is to kind of remember your childhood. Did you climb the jungle gym or swing above bars? How did you use your imagination when you were younger? Did you create forts? Did you create adventures? Did you create the things that made you want to prove yourself? Like, imagine how your imagination can be the fuel you need to keep moving forward. Don't block yourself off from your daydreams. Don't block yourself off from your creativity. And if you are someone that isn't they're like, I can't draw. I can only draw stick figures. There are other ways for you to create. You can create through music. You can create through speech and writing, and you can create by just being in your own presence. You can create by beautifying your space, putting the objects and the trinkets in your environment. Like, there are different ways for you to create. It's not just drawing, it's music, it's whatever inspires you. Now that we kind of talked about the block, we need to talk about what we can do to help strengthen the connection. So we have perspective. None of this matters. Zoom out. Common ground. And it's like I said, you care about so many things. You care about the people in your life. You care about your endeavors. You may be worried about these deadlines, these things that need to be accomplished in a certain amount of time, and you get frustrated when there are these blocks because you're expected to be in, this on this other side of the earth or wherever that is. But perspective, when things are blocking you, zoom out so that way you can see where you are. But let me go ahead and read from the book. Take a step back and look at the bigger picture of your life. Step away from the blinkered vision and reactive frame of mind of me against them. Change your perspective, shift your point of view, and zoom out, out, out. We are but a speck of dust in the universe, yet we think everything revolves around us. We see the planet as ours to own and conquer, pillaging the land and setting ourselves up for our eventual extinction. We build fences and walls and create invisible borders. Mother Earth doesn't need us to survive, but we need her. It's time to wake up. A new perspective is urgently needed. We become so lost in our individual experience that we don't realize that most of the things that keep us awake at night are actually distractions. We're wasting our precious time and resources fighting each other when we should be coming together to heal what's been severed. This moment is a breath in the timeline of your life. This life is a fleeting moment in the tapestry of your soul's experience. Your soul's experience is a flash in the timeline of the known universe, and the known universe is a grain of sand in the unknown universe. Take a moment to see the bigger picture, to find common ground, to find deep compassion in your heart, to gain a greater perspective of humanity in this fleeting moment, in the timeline of your soul's existence, in the timeline of all that is, was, and ever will be. How are you being called to change your perspective? I got goosebumps. Goosebumps. There's a lot that I can learn from shifting my perspective even, or when I become too serious and I forgot how to play or take the moment to pull out a board game and play a board game with my kids. It's like, shift your perspective out. All the problems that you have on your shoulders, let them kind of sit for the moment so that way you can zoom out and focus on what really does matter to you. Now, we're going to look at the gifts that your higher self is giving you. So we have the Eight of Wands upright. We have the Six of Coins upright. We have the Queen of Swords in reverse. So with the Eight of Wands, your higher self is giving you the gift of momentum and clear communication. This is divine timing. This is You move fast when you're aligned. This is speed, inspiration, and the ability to make things happen quickly once you commit. Messages that you receive and the opportunities and synchronicities arrive when you need them to. Your higher self is telling you to trust your first impulse, act before overthinking it, to not try to bring logic into the mix, if you will. If you're a logical person and you question everything, question all the signs that you receive, like this is your sign to just, when you're given the go, now's the time to go. But it's from when you are in a place of true alignment. The Six of Coins upright is the gift of reciprocal flow and generosity. This is fairness that you already have in your bones. It's that generous spirit, the ability to have discernment about where to invest your energy, time, money, or love. This is a gift, and this is probably something that you already have within you that you need to be reminded of not keeping score, but noticing when energy is off. It's like you can tell when you have put your all into people or your work, and you're starting to see that they're not helping you either. This makes me think of, like when you work you put in the hours, you put in all these hours, and you have all of this PTO saved up. Or if you don't know what PTO is, it's like paid time off. It's like your vacation. And the instant that you try to put it in, it's like, oh, well, we don't have the coverage. You have to give a 2-week notice. And you're like, I gave a 6-month notice. And then they say, and I can attest to this. My husband has gone through this, and it frustrates me when we have a wedding coming up, and I tell him, you need to go ahead and put your time off in for your brother's wedding. And it's always, well, they're going to tell me that they don't know if they're going to have coverage around that time. And my fight, and if you are in this same situation, you are giving them time to figure it out for themselves. If they cannot find replacement, if they cannot find people to basically pick up the load so that way you can wind down and take a vacation and travel wherever it is that you want to go, that is a them problem, and they don't know how to manage their time wisely and their resources, and you should not have to suffer for that. So when you notice that energy is off, it's like, I already put in all this work, and you've even compromised so that way you could get a vacation when you shouldn't have had to compromise in the first place. It was something that your business or corporation or wherever it is that you spend your time and work and earn a living, it's like it's in the clause. It's like, pull it up if you have to. If you have to drop down to the ethics if you need to, then pull it out. It's like, I have a right to use my vacation. I have a right to put my punches in, and I have a right to not have to worry whether or not there is coverage when I am gone. So the Six of Coins, I'm sorry, I'm going on a rant, is access to support, resources, mentors, money, help or help that you need when you are in integrity, when you are doing what is right, even when no one is looking. It's like, this is stuff that returns back to you. Whatever you give into the universe returns tenfold, guys. And you were meant to circulate abundance. You weren't meant to hoard or block it. You were meant to share it. You are somebody that is already a very caregiving person. And I just imagine this old granny And this is my grandma through and through. If I had to say this, it's like, even if they were not expecting someone to come over for supper, there was always food on the table, or she would get up and make more. Or if she knew, oh, I don't want to take because I don't want y'all to go without. And it's like, well, I can make more mashed potatoes if I need to. It doesn't take much to cut up potatoes and boil them and then mash them. It's like, or it's like, there is no sense of needing to hoard and control. It's like, I've got everything you need, child. I've got all the cookies in the jar. You come over. If you are hungry, you come over and you eat with me. And then when the grandchildren grow up, it's like the granny energy, the nurturing mother energy doesn't ever leave. Or you can even have a grandfather like this. My grandpa was like this too. And it didn't matter how tired he was, because he would go to bed 5 in the afternoon because he had to be up at 2 or 3 in the morning. And you could call him and say, Grandpa, can I come stay the night with you? And it didn't matter if you didn't have sleep. He'd get up and come and pick you up and take you to the house so you can spend some time with him. It's like knowing that balance. It's like it's having that carefree, but the discernment and the gift here is giving from overflow, not when you are depleted. It's like you can't give anymore when you are, in the example when I was talking about work, you can't give any more that you've already given, and now you need to step away or they're going to have to find a new employee. It's that kind of thing. You know, if you want to keep your employees, you got to treat them with your values that your business has been built on. You got to honor those things. And I just heard, like, adults may not understand why you care. You know, the adults that are around you, and it's like I said, you are an old soul. You are a true old soul. Your inner soul shows this shaman lady, and in reality, you were like maybe in your mid-20s, and you've got this wisdom of an 80-year-old. And it's like, people don't understand why you care so much, why you care about the planet, why you care about the insects and the children and everything. They don't understand it, and that's okay. You understand why you do the things you do. You understand why. Oh my goodness, I almost forgot. So when I was channeling this card, I've been trying to leave references to the things that I think might help others connect. But the 6 of Coins, I imagined that part in Stitch and Lilo, where Lilo is making sandwiches for the fish, so that way they don't go hungry. And her sister getting so mad at her for needing to feed the fish. And that was one of the reasons why she was late to her rehearsal. And she's like, I didn't have any peanut butter. And then her sister's like, well, why didn't you use the tuna we have? And her sister, Lilo's getting at, tuna? Feed the fish with tuna? Are you insane? It's that kind of energy. People don't understand. They don't understand your care, your love for the world around you. It's like they don't know how to shift their perspective and see the greater cosmos, the greater thing of it all. But I encourage y'all to watch Lilo and Stitch if you haven't. That's your homework. Kind of like watch those movies that really help you tap into your inner child, or when you want to do something that feels good from your heart, do it, because then you're in alignment with yourself. Now, the Queen of Swords, your higher self is giving you the gift of reclaiming your voice while also softening the sharp edges. You already have fierce intellect, discernment, and the ability to see straight forward through people's BS. You have survived your entire life by being sharp. The biggest gift here is emotional clarity without the armor. You don't always have to put the armor on to feel represented or be able to say what you need to say. The Queen of Swords here is helping you speak truth and stay open-hearted. You don't have to choose between being smart and being kind, as in this image right here. You don't have to choose between being smart and kind. There is a nudge here to take time to notice when you turn the sword on yourself. This becomes self-criticism. This becomes overthinking or shutting down to avoid being misunderstood. Leela was very misunderstood. Her emotions were misunderstood so many different times in her life because her sister couldn't understand. Her sister had to grow up. She had to become the parent when she was the sister, and Leela lost her sister and her parents almost essentially at the same time. So there's a part of you when you feel misunderstood that you kind of shut yourself down. And your higher self is saying that you would understand why a toddler couldn't climb the steps that you were climbing, and you would be patient with them. So when you find steps that are too tall for you to climb, be compassionate with yourself, and that they're always here ready to help you. So when you need help, reach to your higher self, reach to your spiritual team, and ask for that guidance. You will get fast, clear insight when you do so. And you're meant to share it in balanced exchange. The things that you are given that are very clear for you, you're meant to share that. So whenever you are given guidance and you know that it would help another person, or it's like, oh, that I've never done that for myself, but it's like you're being nudged to give somebody that advice and it works for them, it's like, listen to that. But the Queen is asking you to remove old stories of this is too much or this is not enough. Really sit with those kind of feelings and emotions. And the self-affirmations that they have is, I am energy. I am patient and understanding. I am successful. And I do feel like you are successful, guys. You are a very successful individual here. You're very successful and you're at a point in your life where you can give. It's just a matter of remembering when you need to give to yourself. Now, the next step or the next action that you need to take with your gifts is, it's okay to be misunderstood. We all experience life through our personal lens of fears, desires, and pains, which can lead to miscommunication and misunderstandings. If you are currently in this situation, remember that being misunderstood is not a reflection of your worth, but a result of being human. You are complete regardless of how others perceive you. Other people's perceptions, even if you were to give them a microscope of why you have to do what you're doing for yourself, it's like, I feel like even then it wouldn't matter. What matters is like, why do you do what it is you are doing? And there's a swan in this picture, and I recently had a dream where I was trying to connect with one of the Pleiades sisters. And when your life is feeling chaotic and out of control, I encourage y'all to kind of like work with the Pleiades and see how they can really help you calm the waters that are around you. Because look at this waterfall that is falling from the universe. And when the universe is giving you this emotional depth, this opportunity to transform yourself, You will know that it is in alignment with you because it's not going to cause the ripples. Everything is going to feel calm. Everything is going to feel aligned. But you're being asked to be okay if people don't understand why you are doing what you are doing, why you leave a specific place, why you decide to become a teacher or adopt or decide that you want to work with younger people. Like, it's okay to be misunderstood. Even if you were to tell them deep within you why you want to achieve these things, it's probably not going to matter to them, but it matters to you, and that's all that matters. Now, the last thing we are going to walk away with today is the archetype or the energy that you need to embody in. And we have the mirror here. And I've been telling everybody in my readings, like with the archetype card, one of the things that has significantly helped me being able to channel into these cards and, you know, really tap into my emotional depth and my intuition is sitting with the image and seeing what it tells you. What does the moon mean to you? What does the mirror mean to you? Asking those questions, but sitting with it, maybe drawing it, and really trying to take this true archetype for yourself. And I do love how, like, there's this green shimmer that is sparkling through, and it's like the moon is trying to reflect all of this inner knowing that you already have, this deep emotional depth, and they're asking you to take this opportunity to look yourself in the mirror and see how beautiful you really are. And I almost forgot to tell you the Self-Care Self-Love Oracle. So before I read from the archetype book, let me go ahead and reveal this. It's kind of like peeking at me from the side. So we have, you are overthinking. Ground yourself with a yoga tree pose. I love yoga tree pose, guys. So ground yourself with the yoga tree pose. And, you know, when you're in your yoga tree pose, and if you don't know what that is, it's you're standing straight up. You have your hands over your heart space like this in prayer. And you have one leg creating like a figure 4. So imagine the hanged man, if you will. And while you're in this yoga tree pose, I encourage y'all to kind of like look into the mirror and see what you can see about the balance that you may or may not have in your life, or the perspective that you can give yourself by looking deep within your eyes. But let me go ahead and read from the book. The reflection, the illusion, the looking glass. We look into mirrors every day without recognizing them as portals into another realm. They can shatter, flatter, distort, reflect, and project an image back to us that we deem to be true. The energy of the mirror is all about self-perception. And I'm sorry if you hear the sirens in the background. I live down the main road to a hospital. You know, maybe even take this as like, notice when you do hear those sirens when you are looking in your reflection. But when the archetype of the mirror appears, we are in the mythic land of Narcissus, who saw himself reflected in a pool and fell in love with his own image. So compelled by his reflection, he could not turn away. Asphyxiation that eventually led to his death. Recognize the power and danger of the mirror. It is a construct, one that may drive a shard between you and your true self. The mirror contains trickster energy. Put the phone down, stop with the comparisons, and let the mirror stand empty for a while. Rest with the one inside. When it is in light, we are witnessing the deeper self, pure awareness. When it's dark, it's narcissism, comparison, harsh edges. To go deeper, look at Yayoi Kusama's Infinity Mirror Rooms. Speak to yourself gently and kindly in the mirror. It will feel awkward at first, but it is a sure way to become friends with yourself. For further reflections, read the poem I Am Not I by Juan Jimenez and Yoko Ono's Mirror Piece in Grapefruit. But essentially, that is your archetype homework, taking in the gifts you have and really taking your perspective and zooming out. And I really hope you enjoyed this reading, guys. If you enjoyed it, please, one of the best ways to support my channel is by leaving a I almost said comment when I meant like. Leave a comment, let me know how it resonates, or maybe, share some wisdom and insights or things that you have learned, sharing that guidance to the young folks that may come to this reading. And if you know this would benefit anyone in your life, you're more than welcome to share this reading, because sharing is caring. But I'm going to go ahead and jump into one of the other piles. And if you felt called to one of the other piles, you are more than welcome to watch those too. And if you want to dive into the higher council and take a seat at the table, you are more than welcome to. But I'm going to go ahead and end it here, and y'all have a blessed day. Bye, guys. Hello, Pile 4, and welcome. Now, I forgot to mention in my intro how the reading was going to be broke down, so I want to make sure you are able to get like a cohesive, okay, this is how the story is going to unfold for you and your higher self. But this first card is the voice that your higher self has, that is the message that they have, and is the core thing that you need to hear today. We're going to look at what is blocking the connection you may have with them, whether that be an ego pattern, fear, or distraction that may be muffling your inner wisdom, and essentially bringing the awareness to what may be getting in the way. We're going to look at how to strengthen the connection, what practice or mindset that will help you hear them, whether this could be like meditation, journaling, nature, etc. We're going to look at the gifts with these tarot cards that they are bringing today. So this could be strengths, insight, or support, or even a reminder of the resources that you already have within. Then that'll lead us over into your soul's next step, the aligned action that you can take that honors your highest path. This is what's going to help ground the spiritual into practical. The last thing before we finish our reading today is we are going to look at the energy that you need to embody, the aspect that your higher self is being called to, or the anchor, the archetype energy to carry with you. But that is how this reading is going to break down, and I am excited. Now, here is one of the things that I love about your pile, because your guide says there's not just one thing, there's multiple things that I want you to understand and take from the messages that are here today. And so you got 2 of these crystal grid cards, and the first thing I heard from your higher self is to know the difference between ripe and ready to eat. So this is actually knowing when you need to take action and knowing when you need to kind of pause and let things kind of grow as they are, so that way you can really enjoy this kind of looks like a mango to me in a sense. And so it's like if you were to eat a mango that looked like that, it'd be like, oh, I'm eating lettuce. And then it's like, I thought I got a mango, but if you had waited a little bit longer, you would have been able to take in all the different flavors, if you will. The other thing I got from this image, and I thought it was very beautiful how these 2 cards came together as they are, is it looks like a tulip to me in a sense. So imagine that being like a tulip growing. So tulips have the ability to arrive again and again, and your higher self wants you to know that you do too, when you honor your season of bloom, knowing when you should be resting, knowing when you should be planting. But that is one of the biggest things that I got from these cards before I started, reading their main oracle messages. But there's a time and season for everything. And the last message I got, and this just appeared to me right now, is you know how roses, like if you want your rose bush to come back, I don't know if you are planters or gardeners, but one of the things that they have to do is you have to deadhead or cut off parts of the roses. So that way, when they bloom again next year, they bloom more of them. And you may be in a process where you think that you need to keep a certain perspective or wisdom because you're like, oh, this made me very attractive. This made me very beautiful. This made me very abundant. This made me very whatever the cause may be. And then you have discovered in your past that, like, when you try to stay in the same mold, that next year you didn't blossom, you didn't grow. So your higher self is wanting you to basically take any knowledge that you have. If it no longer serves you, let it rest. So that way you can bring in more wisdom, more beauty, more different colors. Maybe you don't want to be a purple orange tulip one year. Maybe you want to be a pink red tulip. But be okay with changing and wanting to style differently, to let your hair down or cut it, or whatever the case may be. If you are in a new season, a new fad of your life, be okay with that. Like, you don't have to try to maintain a certain appearance, if you will. But let me go ahead and read the cards. So this is green calcite. This is fertility, abundance, growth. Nature is calling. Green calcite attracts abundance, surrounding you in a forest of clarity, positivity, and heightened awareness, akin to the great outdoors. Green calcite transmutes stagnant, old beliefs into the courage to explore outside your comfort zone. As with nature, there is beauty in the imperfect, and growth occurs only when we allow ourselves the room to expand. Green calcite opens the heart and third eye chakras, helping you to let go of past resentments and planting seeds for your growth and expansion with Venus in Cancer. So taking care of your buds brings more abundance, love, and appreciation. And so Venus is the planet of love and beauty and how you earn your materials in your life. And with it being in Cancer, this is saying, you may spend a lot of time taking care of others, and it's okay when you need to take care of yourselves. It's time for you to really put, it's, what is that? What is the saying? I remember it. Service to self. Service to self is the biggest thing that I'm trying to say right now. But there was a way to say, like Aphrodite. Aphrodite is very independent. Being independent with your materials, being independent with your what you are giving, but only if you are wanting to give it, if that makes sense. But this is ametrine. Energetic, intuitive, connected. A combination of amethyst and citrine. Ametrine opens the pathways between the physical realm and the spiritual realm with a sunny disposition. This stone can alleviate stress during challenging life transitions with the ability to go beyond the surface. Ametrine brings the shadowy parts of us to light, healing deep wounds and trauma by confronting them directly. Ametrine encourages you to hop into the driver's seat and take control of your life, aiding in discernment and clarity. Ametrine gives you the confidence to take the lead, with Jupiter, Neptune, and Pluto being in Libra. Trust what your subconscious is telling you. Trust that luck is on your side, that you are expanding and taking all the parts of yourself and, connecting them together. But that's essentially what I got from what your main message is here for today. Now, the blocks that are kind of like preventing you from doing so. We have Chantel. New romance is imminent, either with a newcomer or through reignited passion in your existing relationship. Be open to giving and receiving love. And then we have Shanti. I am the angel of peace. I am bringing you new tranquility and a smoother road ahead. And I thought it was very fitting that we have these two cards come together. I thought that was interesting. Now, Chantel, the block here is you may be cutting yourself off from being romantic or pursuing romance and passion, or you may be in a period of your life where you are doubting that there is a new love on the horizon, or that the relationship you have already is going to blossom even further. And you can take the message that I said about this core message for your relationships as well. It's like you grow with your relationship. What brings the relationship together is not what keeps it together. It's a constant evolution that you will find. You will go through different phases, and some days are more committed than others, or some days are harder, some days are easier, but it's how you kind of like grow and learn from one another as you become your own individuals. Like you become independent in your own right, where you are not so much as being codependent on the support of another person. It's like not needing the constant validation, not needing the constant am I beautiful? And you've already asked them 400 times and they say every 400 times you are beautiful, but it's like for some reason it's not what you want to hear. So don't doubt the love that is coming in. And when there's a block in your heart, it's preventing you from being able to connect with your higher self. So find ways to open up, find ways to express to your partner, express to yourself, and without closing yourself off. Don't close parts of yourself off. You should be able to authentically be in your own skin without shame, and feel good about yourself when you are with those that you love. And this card can often come into play when you find that you are struggling with that playfulness. You're too focused on, what you need. It's when you have one partner that is silly and you have the other partner that is serious, and together they harmonize, but then at some points it becomes too much, or the person that's too serious all the time forgets that they can play too, or the person that plays all the time can be serious as well. So there's this need for healthy balance and dynamics to come through. You could be too focused on finding love. If you are not in a relationship, you're too focused on the finding and not the experiencing of the other passions you have in your life. You're putting your hobbies on the side. You're putting your goals on the side because you're so concerned with finding your true love, your true soulmate, your true twin, whatever the case may be, that it's you forgot that you had all of these other things behind you that you need to work on. So she's looking that way, and imagine that there's nothing there yet, and she's so focused on the fact that there is nothing here for her. But if she were to turn around and, oh my goodness, my shell just fell down. Whatever. She's listening. It's, the Little Mermaid. That's kind of like what it reminds me of. That looks like the shell where Ariel puts her song into this shell and loses her voice. So there's something around here that your higher self is saying, focus on your passions, focus on the things that help you bloom, focus on the things that make you feel worthy, not what someone can bring for you, but follow the guidance especially after the guidance is being delivered. And there have been multiple times where your higher self has said, I have told you multiple times, you are exactly where you need to be. Just stay where you are. Don't entertain anything else but what is your true passions here, and then everything will fall in line. This could be like if you have felt that nudge to go to the gym, or if you felt the nudge to take a course, go to a museum, go hiking, go on a tour of some kind of thing. But if you've been ignoring that, that could have been your opportunity to find that love, people who have the same interests and passions as you. But over here, Shanti is letting you kind of know, like when you've been at a state of turmoil, maybe there was a breakup, maybe there was something in your life that was causing you to feel very tired, like your soul was feeling tired, and you're at a point where you're craving peace and quiet. And Shanti is trying to help you find opportunities where you can be alone. So now take this image of emptiness that is over here, where now your soul is kind of being gravitated towards sitting with yourself and being close with yourself. And be okay to relax, especially your mind and your heart. You are in a period of your life where you are hovering in the center of a hurricane, but you shouldn't have to control the chaos. Like, you may find that you're constantly having to fix things for other people, fix other people's relationships. Maybe some relationships in your life have failed because you have these people that come in and they bring you into their drama, and it's like you weren't able to spend time with your partner fully. So Chantel is asking you to be open to giving and receiving love, but not losing sight of your passions. And Shanti is asking you to be okay to sitting with yourself, to working through grief, working through turmoil, working through anything that has been really hard on you. And not feeling like you need to throw yourself into the turbulent winds all the time when things go bad. But this is letting you know that your inner foundation has been cracked, and it's like water has been spilling out of you. The love that you have been pouring into other people has been spilling and flowing, and so there's been this emptiness. So imagine this clay pot for this flower that wants to bloom. It wants to bloom, but it can't bloom because it's not getting the necessary nutrients in order to survive. So it's like you see the buds start to bloom, but then, and so it's like you stop taking care of yourself because you see the little bit of growth here. And then when you stop taking care of yourself and you start taking care of other people's flowers, other people's gardens, and then when you come back to your pot, it never bloomed. The flower probably fell off, if you will. But Shanti is wanting you to trust that the worst is behind you. Trust that there will be a peaceful outcome in your relationships with, and the way that you are going to find your own worth. You are going to find your worth in this world. The outer life that you want will be received based on the inner peace that you are creating here. Now, the way in order to kind of strengthen this connection will be big picture thinking, Pleiades energy, visionary, inspired ideas. So if you feel called to pile 3, I encourage y'all to check it out, because, and what was even funny is whenever I was channeling Shanti's energy and I heard hurricane and being in the center of that hurricane, one of the best sisters that I have worked with in the past, that has helped me in my own relationships and my endeavors was, I'm going to pronounce her name the best I can, is Alcyone. So if you have never worked with the Pleiades sister, I encourage you to do so. They work as a collective group for the collective, but when they have a message to share, especially if you are very connected with them, they will send one sister. And this sister is going to be able to help you find that calm water where you can sit and find peace. She works with people who are going through quite a bit and need to find that sense of peace. So every time you openly speak out, whether you are by yourself or before you go to bed at night, ask, I am looking to have more peace brought into my life. I'm looking for ways to surround myself with love and find my own worth and find my own power. This is a sister you can work with, and you'll see symbols of water birds. You may feel called to sit by puddles that aren't moving, or you start to notice that when you have certain issues in your life that become resolved without effort, that is one of the ways that you will know that these sisters are working with you. These things just resolve on their own. You don't need to put too much effort into it. And so if you want to go ahead and work with her, one of the things you can do is get a candle, sea glass blue, those kind of colors, that works too, and sit by a bowl of water or wherever you have, if you actually want to go out in nature and look, at water itself. But sitting with that bowl and asking, what can I do to bring more calm waters in my life? People in the past have used Pleiades as the telltale sign of knowing when it was time to travel and when it was time to stay at the bay because of storms at sea. So you have these signs. There are subtleties that are around you for you to be able to know when it is time to plant your tulip. But let me go ahead and read from the big picture thinking. The Pleiadians are our cosmic cousins. They're here to remind us that it's never too late to learn new things and change the future. You're being called to be a visionary for the planet, to take a breath, shake off what you've been taught about the world, and hold a new vision for humanity. You're likely a natural big thinker, here to generate ideas for the future, here to birth a new age and dream of a new world into being. The future will be woven by dream makers like you, by those with enough courage to question the way things have been and envision new possibilities for the planet. The world needs more artists, dreamers, inventors, and visionary thinkers. Perhaps you've had an idea recently that you've been called to usher in. If so, this card is your confirmation that it's divinely guided. The Pleiadians support us in this important stage in Earth's development. They want us to know that the decisions we make today will affect the well-being of our planet and all its species. They're calling on you to be a leader of the future, to hold a clear vision of what's possible, to trust that vision and follow it through with daily action, to dream a new world into being, to hold your mind open and try not to worry about what others think. For it takes great courage to pave a new path, to trust a vision before it's a reality. How are you being called to step up and lead? What new ideas or creations are you being called to pursue? But I love the Pleiadian energy, and I recommend looking at all the different sisters that are in that cluster because you can work with each one of them very closely with one another. But let me go ahead and reveal the gifts that your higher self is giving you today. So we have the Nine of Cups sideways, the Eight of Wands in reverse, and we have the Empress upright. That's another confirmation if you felt called to the last pile 3. They had the Eight of Wands. So the Knight of Cups sideways it's the emotional fulfillment that's already here. You already have this ability that your higher self is trying to bring to you. Your wish is fulfilled or nearly there, even if you might not be fully seeing or savoring it yet, if you will. Back to that mango. There is deep contentment, gratitude, and the ability to manifest joy that is present here. You already have what makes you happy. Feel it instead of chasing the next thing. It's like when other people come in and it's like you see that they have an apple and you have an apple and they are enjoying the crap out of their apple, and it makes you wonder, I have the same apple as them, but they are really enjoying their apple, so I need to have what they have. It's that kind of analogy that I'm getting from this, but you already have everything you need to feel good, to feel fulfilled, to feel happy. You have it all already. The Eight of Wands reversed is saying you have permission to slow down. This is the gift of pause. Delays, miscommunication, or scattered energy are not blocks. They're protection for you. This is the gift of discernment, patience, and the ability to redirect your energy so it does not burn out. You have inner stillness, even if life feels stalled or chaotic. So you are that hurricane. The sister that I talked about earlier, Alcyone, she was the one that the sailors would pray to, and she would show them when things have calmed over. She wasn't directing the calm of she wasn't giving people that narrow opportunity where you would find that peace, but if you were to step out just slightly, you would be swept up. She would wait till the hurricane had completely left, and then she would tell you, now it is time to go. You're being given the gift of pause. So that way you can redirect your energy so it is not burnt out. The Empress over here is creative abundance and nurturing power. You're already fertile with ideas, love, beauty, and growth. Your higher self is giving you the gift of the ability to create, nurture yourself and others, and attract abundance by being in your receptive, grounded energy. You don't have to force, you are the source. So you have satisfaction on a cup tap that you can turn on at any point. You have divine timing, air traffic control, letting others know a storm is coming, slowing down so you land where you are meant to land. You have safety, beauty, and growth. Notice the dream that you are already living in. The rest is coming, but not through hustle. Receive and nurture what you have. Trust your divine timing. And before I forget, these are the affirmations that you need. I am optimistic. I am strong. I am enough. You are enough. You are enough. You are enough. I can't say that enough. You are worthy, guys. Just feel the strength that you have within you. Allow yourself to see things from the positive side, from that glass is half full. It's noticing all the changes that you have made in your life, from choosing people who were deserving of your time and energy, noticing the people that brought chaos, noticing the people that caused the delays and blockages in your life that you had to pour out, that were constantly pulling from your reserves. But the next step that you need to be taking is a time to remember. A photograph can be a powerful tool on your inner child journey. What we feel for our inner child can be addressed as we look at images of our younger self. Create space to look through the photographs of your childhood, gaze at each image, and practice sending love, acceptance, forgiveness, or whatever you need to the little you. The self-care, self-love oracle that goes with that is chin up, buttercup. You are gorgeous. You are gorgeous. Your higher self is like, you are so gorgeous. You need to see how gorgeous you are. You need to keep your head up. If you were to lift your chin, you would see all the beauty that is around you. You would see how beautiful you are. You would see the blooms. You would be able to take advantage of it. The last card is the archetype that you need to manifest in. I'm going to go ahead and put that over here. Built the tulip. We have the mountain. And when I work with the archetypes, one of the best things that has helped me with my practice and tune into my intuition is to really sit and look at this image and see if there are any questions. Maybe there's some symbolism in this image that you feel called to, or maybe the colors stand out to you, or the center of this mountain does, but really sit and sift with what you are seeing to see if there's any gold here that is meant for you. But I'm going to go ahead and read from the book. The mountain, the ascent, the peak, the insurmountable. The mountain stands eternally in our awareness, calling us toward its peak. It steers up stoic and regal feelings, reminding us of the long line of spirits, sages, sadhus, and gods that made their humble thrones within its snowy peaks. Beware, though, as the mountain can affect us in two ways. It can inspire and enliven us to rise to new heights and peak experience. Yet it can also create isolation, competitiveness, and an inflated sense of self. Standing upon its heights can activate the purist and the perfectionist in us, creating separation from those we deem to be below. No matter how high you ascend, remember that it is within the core of the mountain that the gems, minerals, and jewels reside. If you think it's all about going up, you're following the fool's path and missing the miner's magic. When it is light, it is grounded in the eternal, steadfast, uplifting. When it's dark, it's ominous, daunting, isolating, frigid. To go deeper, look at Mary Oliver's The Poet Dreams of the Mountain. Research mountains, find one that strikes you and stare at it for a while. Where is it? The pilgrim may be awakening in you. The summit calls. Contemplate Joseph Campbell's suggestion. You are the central mountain, and the central mountain is everywhere. My dears, that is your reading. If you enjoyed this content, one of the best ways to support my channel is by leaving a like, leaving a comment, sharing this if you know anyone would benefit greatly from this message. But I am excited that you're here today, and I'm glad I've got to be blessed with your higher self's presence. If you felt called to the other piles, you are more than welcome to look into the other piles, or if you want to sit at the table with the higher council, you are more than welcome to dive into pile 5. But I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Y'all have a blessed day. Hello, my dears, and welcome to this quick, brief, what is the Council of Higher Selves about? So this is pile 5, and it will be available on my Patreon. So if this is a reading you are interested in, you take this reading as an added dose of medicine to the previous higher self message that was in one of the piles that you may have chosen. So the way this reading is going to break down is, so imagine that The first 4 piles came together and sat down at the table, and they are essentially being given a seat to talk to the collective as a whole. So the first card will be about the core message. What is the unified message all higher selves want the collective to know right now? This is what's going to set the tone, the one thing that they all agree on. We're going to look at the blind spot or the blocks. What are we as a collective not seeing that only becomes visible when these perspectives are combined? This is essentially the higher selves are coming together, and they can spot patterns that one may miss if they were just by themselves. And then we'll look at the strength to embody, what collective strength emerges when we integrate all 4 paths. This shows the superpower that comes from synthesis. The 4th card will be about challenges or warnings that they're trying to bring to our awareness, the resistance or pitfall that we should be mindful of as we move forward. It's essentially a council wouldn't just hype you up, they'd call out the shadow. Then we're going to look at the action or next step. What is the most aligned action the collective can take to honor all 4 paths? This is practical guidance that doesn't favor one pile over the other. And then lastly, we're going to look at the outcome or the higher potential. If we follow this combined guidance, what higher timeline becomes available to us? This ends on an expansive, hopeful note and shows what is truly possible. But if you are interested, I have the cards laid out so that way you can use your intuition to see if this is pulling you further. Now up here, I just wanted y'all to be able to see these cards, but we have the High Priestess in reverse, the Page of Wands upright, the 2 of Coins reversed, and we have the Emperor upright. And this is good medicine. I took in a lot of good medicine for myself after channeling the 5th council. But I'm going to go ahead and end the rest of this reading on YouTube, and I appreciate y'all for taking a peek to see if you're interested, and cannot wait to see who I meet on the other side. But I'm going to go ahead and end it here, guys. Bye.